Hello, esteemed corporate sisters. So pleased to be able to speak with you, women of influence. You are in a unique position at a pivotal time in history. Your leadership will make a profound difference. I hope you are aware of this crucial role that you play. No command at this time. And if you haven't realized it, I'm going to bring some light and maybe a little fire that may have been smoldering at this time of change. Yes, I want to ignite that spark to get you hot and hopefully so that you'll move. Because when a woman of color moves, the world shakes. And it's high time it shook in our favor, isn't it? We're going to have to set some stuff on fire in 2025. Inside each of us burns a creative fire, a force that can transform challenges into opportunities and adversity into innovation. That creative fire, a potent combination of our life experiences, cultural heritage, and personal wisdom, is our unique source of innovation, our power to envision and enact change. My intention is to show when we bring that fire as a change agent into rooms, projects, and negotiations, we transform them. We make people listen. We make our presence indispensable. Powered by our creative fires and guided by our intelligence, we can lead and leverage change, not just to expect, but demand more equity. Is there a time when you tapped into your creative fire? Did it help you overcome a personal or professional challenge? Start thinking of where you can start a fire. Too often, society has offered us scraps and called it a meal. Today, we say, enough. We're not going to claim a seat at the table. We're going to redefine the menu. I remember reading once that Alana Vasant said, don't try to make a meal out of something that was meant to be a snack. I know I've been guilty of that. Have you? Have you been trying to put little snack pieces together and call it a meal, but still walking around unsatisfied? Well, today, no gun hungry here. Okay, so how do we get more? We just can't go in the store and see a box of more on the shelf. But what I'm proposing doesn't require for you to do anything, go anywhere, but tap into your God-given powers that each of us has a big dose of: intuition, resilience, creativity, and intelligence to make the necessary changes that will give you more. If I was to ask you, do you know any stories of a woman of resilience? How many would you have? 1, 5, 10, and they might all be yours. Yes, as a woman of color, our resilience is our root system. It is deep, it is strong and nourishing. The gift of resilience is our inherited strength, the backbone of our spirit, tested through times and trials. It has allowed us to withstand storms and droughts. But being firmly planted does not mean staying static. Our roots are just the anchors, but sources of nourishment that enable us to grow and extend our reach. Moving forward means leveraging our resilience to push beyond comfort zones, to innovate, to take strategic and calculated risks. It's about turning our survival tactics into strategies of triumph. While resilience has kept us rooted, it is change and innovation that will make us bloom. I believe the perfect example of being resilient, still able to stand from the blows, but leaped instead of and because of is Arlen Hamilton, the founder of Backstage Capital, author of It's About Damn Time. It is amazing to me that she thought, I am going to create a fund for startups, for the founders who were of the wrong color or sex. But while she was homeless, she said, I am going to do that. See, that's a power move. Arlen Hamilton built a venture capital fund from the ground up, starting with no capital, network, or influence. Arlen has now invested in over 100 startups, and her pioneering approach challenges the traditional venture capital landscape. That approach is what we must do today to change, because we all see the changes coming in the air from this administration. And I learned firsthand that sometimes change can come to your door when you are not prepared. Have you ever had to make one of those difficult life decisions where your answer is so important and you spent nights worrying, analyzing all the factors? Well, I had to do one of those decisions when I was forced. When my job was downsizing, my base was closing, the airline industry had taken a hit. My options were to stay in the job that I had loved for over 20 years, work more, and get paid less, up to 30%, or to venture into the unknown job market in a downturn economy. I was already hiding when I was packing my suitcases for my kids so that I didn't have to hear, "You leaving already? I thought you said you'd be home a long time this time, Mommy." My ex-husband had said he couldn't give up all his free time to watch the kids. And my mother said she didn't have no kids. So work more? No. And when the union said they had negotiated an offboarding process that included appointments for job assistance, I thought, yes, it seemed like a no-brainer. I drove to hand in that request for separation in person, singing with the radio blasting down 95. Yes, I would do something with my new and have some employment while I figured it out. When I went to that appointment, I was greeted with, "Oh, you're one of those airline people, flight attendant." I was informed I currently was not a good match for anything. Maybe I could go back to school or find a job training program. I would be categorized as a displaced homemaker. What? What is that? I thought. Whatever it is, it didn't sound good. Don't match anything. Homemaker. And displaced at that. All of a sudden, I could hear all of the negative talk that people had told me about changing careers. People told me the days of going to work with a smile on my face were over. It's called work for a reason. Unfortunately, I started to believe it. I was displaced. And when I left there, I had no GPS. I sat on that parking lot, which seemed so long, like I was living in a holding pattern. What had I overlooked in my careful analytics? Would I just have to fit in where I could get in? I realized I had let all of the other voices become louder than mine. I had to listen for it, my voice and intuition, which said, when you own your unique value, how can you be displaced from that? And when I received that, I was able to steer off that parking lot that day, knowing I would figure it out. I learned that I was only responding to change and that I had not been guided by my intuition. Today, we stand at the crossroads where the call for change is loud, clear, and urgent. Ladies, our journey begins with a profound acknowledgement of our intrinsic powers, our intuition, and creativity. Those are just not soft skills. They are core strengths, hardwired in our being and refined by our experiences and honed through our battles, both personal and professional. Intuition, this is our inner compass, a powerful guide that nudges us when opportunities are ripe for the taking and when pitfalls lay hidden in our path. In a world brimming with data and noise, our intuition cuts through the clutter, offering clarity and foresight. Intuition can help in decision-making, reading environments, and understanding opportunities others may have overlooked. It's about seeing beyond the obvious, looking at a situation holistically. I phrase it this way: intuition is knowing the song in your heart and having the courage to dance to it, even when no one else hears the music. Let me ask you, why wait for change when you can create it? Creating change is not merely about a reaction to external pressures. It's a proactive strategy for gaining a competitive edge by anticipating need, being the first to propose innovative solutions. We don't just keep up, we lead. We set new standards and we define the future, what it looks like, ensuring that our contributions are not just noted, but celebrated and emulated. I want to highlight some women that I think are good examples of igniting these fires of change. The spark. Every significant change starts with a spark, an idea or an insight that seems small, but it has the potential to ignite something much larger. An example of this is a woman who had a small but revolutionary idea that transformed her industry. The story of Sarah Breedlove, Madam C.J. Walker, who created specialized hair products for African American women and became the first African American woman to become a self-made millionaire. Her initial idea was a mere spark that ignited a massive change in the beauty industry. I have to pay homage to her mentor, Annie Malone, and her products, the great, wonderful hair grower. Sounds good even today. You see, Madam C.J. Walker had a system that was not about hot combs and grease, but a belief: I grow hair. The women who worked for her were hair culturalists. It was a market that was overlooked and created an identity for women, and they wanted that. Fanning the flames, building momentum. Like a small flame that grows when it is nurtured with oxygen, an idea or a movement grows when it is supported by a community, resources, and a persistent effort. This example of a grassroots movement that started when people joined and fanned the flames. It started when a woman wanted to show empathy for someone else's pain that had a similar incident, and it took two words: Tarana Burke, hashtag and the Me Too movement. It started from just a humble beginnings, and little did she know, years later, that Alyssa Milano would use that hashtag, and it would explode into a global conversation about sexual harassment and assault. Now, let's start looking at the wildfires to make it a rapid expansion of uncontrollable growth. Sometimes the sparks of change catches so rapidly it spreads like a wildfire, becoming a powerful force that reshapes landscapes, and it is virtually impossible to ignore. The thought process that there should be an easier way to do this is what a $40 billion company owned by a young woman whose products today are seen as essential to some. It's Canva, and that was founded by Melanie Perkins, which has rapidly transformed from a simple idea into a graphic design giant. While working on the layout of a high school yearbook, she thought, how can I make this easier to add photos and add designs to the book? Her innovative service quickly spread throughout the globe and has revolutionized the way that people interact with technology. And it has over 130 million users. And the company gives 80% of for the charity foundation. Now, corporate sisters, can we say, let's make change not something that happens to us, but it happens because of us? Why lead change? Because if we don't, someone else will. Someone who may not understand our journey, our struggles, or our strengths, or even care about us, as we see today. In 2025, our success in a rapidly evolving world will be defined on how well we leverage our full spectrum of our intelligence. I'm sharing with you some of the top skills from my signature program so you can have the upper hand, which is artificial, creative, and emotional intelligence. Together, they form a powerful arsenal that will not only give you a competitive edge, but redefines the competition altogether. Why? Because when we lead with intelligence, intuition, and heart, we're not just playing the game, we're changing the game. Artificial intelligence is shaping industries and how we interact with the world. Embrace AI not as a threat, but as a tool. Artificial intelligence isn't just for techies. Imagine utilizing AI not only to predict market trends, but to tailor the solutions and spotlight your initiatives, ensuring that you are seen as a pioneer. Let AI be your analytical powerhouse, freeing you to focus on strategic decisions and creative endeavors. Creative intelligence. More than just a flair for the artistic, your creativity is your greatest asset. It helps you to see possibilities where others may just see divisions. It's about making things happen. It is our ability to see connections, solve problems in ways that break the molds, and set new precedents. Creative intelligence is your ability to see beyond the surface, to innovate, to solve problems in ways that defy conventional wisdom. It is our secret sauce, spicy and flavorful. Okay, now we're at emotional intelligence. This is where the heart comes in, the value of the human traits, compassion, empathy, and intuition, which will be increasingly recognized as a crucial in leadership. Our capacity to read rooms, to foster deep connections, to lead with empathy. That's what turns a leader into a legacy. These skills, they will ensure that our voices are not just heard, but they can influence and inspire and instigate real change. In a world that can seem driven by cold technology, our emotional intelligence connects us. It builds bridges, fosters loyalty, and cements our place not just as market leaders, but community pillars. I think a good example of this is Miss Oprah Winfrey. Oprah was a change agent. She taught us to trust a Black woman. Her intuitive understanding of what audiences sought, conversations on a deeper emotional and spiritual issues, allowed her to create a show that stood out from the crowd, and it deeply resonated with millions of viewers. A powerful asset in a world of clones without a heart. What steps can you take today, right now, to ignite and leverage to win a little more? I'm happy to assist you with tools for that journey. And if you would like some information or to see some of these free tools, you can find some on my website, Creative Minds Win, or you can find me on Instagram at Sister in the Room. As we wrap up, remember the best way to predict the future is to create it now. Be the leader you were born to be. Start the business, lead the team, champion the cause. The world needs your fire, your brilliance, and your passion. Lead not by chance, but by design. Let today be the day that you decide not to dream more, but to create more. Oh, I'm starting to feel some sparks coming through the computer. Are they coming from your next project? Goodbye now.